Queer Parenting Group Representative, Udana Muldoon.
Hi, everybody. Okay, stop now, I'm too nervous. Okay. My name is Udana, and I'm a member of Durham Queer Parenting. It's a collective of queer parents in Durham. And if you're interested in joining, we're on Facebook, or you can come and stop and talk to me or my partner, she's around. I'm also a member of QUAC, and I want to thank Karen and the other women for coming out to support us here in Durham. Durham has some unique challenges and obstacles with regard to queer issues. For one, we don't have a central place to congregate like a church street or a 519 or a gayborhood. Whitby Shore's discluded. So to completely surround ourselves with people like us, we rely heavily on word of mouth, online resources to keep us connected, and of course the famous lesbian nod. I know you are one, just letting you know I am one too. I love you too, Allie. But why are we too afraid to stop and say, hey, my name's Udana. Are you part of my community? I believe that we're afraid to do so because we're afraid that someone may single us out and hurt us. I think it's important that we don't mistake this as a queer issue. This is a Canadian issue. Not only do the actions of this man challenge the safety of the queer community, but it also puts the very foundation what makes Canada a great country in jeopardy. I also think the failure to lay a hate crime charge personally really demonstrates a societal tolerance for violence and hate. Now I lost my space. The tactics of this man are not new, they're actually tried and true. Why do people feel so empowered to be so bold? I hope everyone realizes that this is everyone's issue, gay and straight. I remember when my partner convinced me to move to Oshawa. Housing was cheap and accessible. All I knew of Oshawa was darkness. Being a counselor at a local shelter, all I knew was abuse and addiction, and of course all of the awful stories. So I asked myself, how are we to raise a child here? The people who know my family know we've had a rough time here, so much so that we actually moved out of Oshawa today, to get away from the bashing and the harassment. And we can all guess how DRP, Durham Regional Police, responded. We couldn't take the abuse or apathy any longer. Bodie Taney once said, apathy is the glove into which evil slips its hand, which seems to be the case here and why we are having this rally. I know that my partner and I are not the only ones that feel this way. All too often I hear about queer people getting yelled at, harassed, and now beaten in Durham region. It makes me sick to my stomach that 2 women, 2 moms, 2 lesbians in my community were not only beaten but humiliated in front of children, their children. We as queer parents know that we're going to talk to our children about discrimination and hate, but we also think it's going to be on our terms when we and our children are ready. We also know that there's a potential that we may get yelled at, looked at, but do we really think we were going to be hit in front of our children? I don't think that we do. How do you prepare for that? Can you? All that being said, all was not negative. When I moved to Durham, I met beautiful people, queer and straight, with and without children. And I am so honored to call my friends, and many of which whom are here today. I am also grateful that I can surround my daughter with green space, that my daughter can look up into the sky and see stars, something that maybe a big city may not have afforded us. I believe that Durham region and its people do in fact care about the queer community, they just don't know how. They don't have the tools and the resources to act. We all need to tell the key players to step up and change things. So let's allow this incident to be a teachable moment. A moment that the queer and straight communities can come together and help the key players to right their wrongs. A moment that allows the queer community and our straight allies to look back and say, this is the moment that changed Durham. I'd just like to quote with a quote by the wonderful Maya Angelou. It's time for parents to teach young people early on that in diversity there is beauty and there is strength.